What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first two episodes of Season 7 of Rick and Morty. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you want me to review next. This will be spoiler-free. I'm just trying to give my thoughts on this show, and this is also going to be a one-off. If I do come back to this, it's either going to be probably for the season finale and just reviewing the whole season. I just wanted to get my thoughts out now that we have the new voice actors for Rick and Morty, so I just wanted to kind of come in here and say, do I think the show has actually changed with the changes to the voice cast? And then I will also do a section here where I talk about the Justin Roiland situation, just to give my 2 cents. Not that it's important, because who the hell am I, but just wanted to give my 2 cents about it. So yeah, this is Rick and Morty. You can stream this on the Adult Swim website, I believe. I just watched it live. So the name of the episodes, the first one is called How Poopy Got His Poop Back, and the second episode is The Jarek Trap. The episode's released on October 15th for episode 1 and October 22nd for episode 2. The cast includes, and these are the first two are the new voice actors, Ian Cardone, Harry Belden, Chris Parnell, Spencer Grammer, and Sarah Chalk. Of course, Parnell, Grammer, and Chalk, regular actors that we've had for this show since season 1. Now, both episodes are 22 minutes, and the plot of the first episode is basically Rick needs to help out one of his friends. Of course, you can tell from the title, it's Poopy Butthole. And the second episode, something happens with Rick and Jerry that's very weird, but when you watch the episode, it actually did work pretty well for me. So let me actually go into my thoughts first on episode 1 real quick. And the voices didn't bother me to begin with. I really kind of wanted to stress about the voice stuff in both episodes. The voices didn't really bother me in either episode. For episode 1, I was just trying to see if the writing was still there, and to me it was. However, episode 1 didn't have enough Morty. He was kind of sidelined for that episode. I want to say he had like a handful of lines at best. He didn't have that many in episode 2 either, but still, he only had a handful of episodes at best. And this was a very fun Rick and his crew episode, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed that. And they have a special guest that now I will say is going to be goated on the show. And a lot of the episode actually answered some questions I had from the past, trying to know if some characters are still alive or not, and they answered that, so I was like, oh, this is really cool. I really enjoyed this. This was a good continuation. The writing to me was still on point of what I thought Rick and Morty was. Let's move on to the bad real quick, is I wouldn't have made that the season opener, just because with Morty being out of the episode so much, it just didn't work for me. I'm like, if you're going to have more Rick and Morty, and after all the controversy that we had over the summer, I would have had both characters in the first episode. I would have probably moved it around if I could to maybe have another episode that was more Rick and Morty there, but yeah, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about that. There was a scene in that episode that I did find kind of weird, but I won't talk more about it here. If you want, just message me and I'll talk about that. All right, now on to episode 2. Still not enough Morty, but we still get some good stuff with Jerry and Rick that I was like, you know what, that makes up for not having as much Morty. Though he is there. It's not like Morty was completely sidelined like he was in the first episode. Just he's not one of the focuses of the episode. But now that we're in season 7, I can be like, okay, I get it. I wish it was more Morty, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. And again, a lot of these episodes were done before Justin Roiland was taken off, so it's kind of that this was already the plan going in here. They probably had a lot of the stuff done probably from before than last year. So it's just like that was already decided. It just happens that this all occurred after a voice change. So it's like, it is what it is. So for episode 2, I really enjoyed the story. To me, the writing in season 2 seemed like, okay, we're still on point. We're still doing the stuff that we've done for the most part. So for episode 2, I felt like this was more of a regular Rick and Morty episode to me. The bad with episode 2 is I can't really think of anything that I thought was bad. It more got you thinking, yeah, it's not really a bad episode in any stretch, in my opinion. I also am just doing that stuff. I'm completely doing unscripted. I usually write down my thoughts beforehand, but episode 2, I didn't get a chance to do that before recording this. But there wasn't really much bad that I hated with the episode. There were some random stuff, I don't understand how crystals work in this world. Oh, these crystals are, I'm not going to say more about that, but I don't necessarily know how everything around the universe works, but it's fine. It's not really that big a deal. They kind of give enough exposition so you kind of understand what's going on in this context. But yeah, not much bad there. Let's actually move on to my score for both episodes. So for episode 1, I'm going to give episode 1 a 7 out of 10. And for episode 2, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. So one I thought was good, the other one I thought was great. The only reason I don't think episode 1 was as good for me was I wouldn't have made that the opener. It just didn't work for me as an opener for a season. But I definitely recommend people go watch both episodes, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. So now, if you guys want to hear my thoughts on Justin Roiland, I'm just going to say those. If you don't care to hear, then it's all good. Don't worry about it. But for me, the Justin Roiland situation was, I understand why they got rid of him. I think they were trying to find a way to get rid of him for the longest. And once those allegations came out, they finally had their out. And a lot of people were going to be like, oh, but he was the show. But when I start looking at the 3 shows that he was technically attached to at the end, so there was Solar Opposites, Koala Man, because I was at the Comic-Con panel and Justin was right there, and for Rick and Morty. And Koala Man, they just killed off his character right away. They did not like working with him, and this is before the allegations. They did not like working with him, that they just killed off his character right away. And I'm guessing after the character was killed off, he didn't really have much to give in the terms of the writing of the show, and I only do know that because of the other 2 shows. So for Solar Opposites, they decided, hey, we're gonna like get rid of him as well, but we're not even gonna like make a voice actor that sounds even similar. They just gave that character a completely different voice. And the show, honestly, Mike McMahon writes that, the show seems exactly the same. It did not even seem like it missed a beat. And that to me already gave me a lot of feeling like, oh, we're gonna be fine when it comes to Rick and Morty. And sure enough, the only difference is that the voice actors for Rick and Morty are very similar to the voice that Roiland did. However, Roiland, in my opinion, if he's not helping in the writer's room, a voice actor can easily be replaced. I don't know why people are making such a big deal about him being replaced. It's like, if he's being a distraction, he's not really helping, and they want to get rid of him, I completely understand. We've all been in situations where we have a coworker where, like, you just want them to be getting rid of because they're not really helping, and they're more, like, making things worse for everyone, that no one really likes to work with them. That you're finding the first excuse to get rid of them, and you're going to get rid of them. Now, granted, the abuse allegations turned out to not go anywhere, and they didn't want him back, and to me, that was a big red flag of, they don't like him. He's definitely been pissing people off for a long time. They were just like, you know what, screw it, we don't want to work with them. I even saw that Dan Harmon hasn't talked to him in years. And it's like, if Dan Harmon hasn't talked to him in years, I'm guessing Mike McMahon's probably on the same side on Solar Opposites. And it sounded like he was just doing the voice work for Corvo over there. So it's like, you can get rid of a guy if he's not really contributing anything else in his voice. It's like, you can go find another voice actor. It's not a really big deal. I'm not watching this show for the voice actor. I'm watching it for the characters. The characters are the people that write them. Like, for instance, I like Indiana Jones a lot. And yeah, Harrison Ford was back as Indiana Jones for the new movie, but by no means did I feel like that was Indiana Jones. The writing was just so different to me that I felt this is not the Indiana Jones I like. They made him so depressed. I was like, I just can't work with this. So I didn't really like that movie for one of that reasons. Like, the writers are what really makes a lot of these characters stand out. Voice actors are great, and I love voice actors, especially in video games. They make a lot of stuff for me. But if I were to say who I think is more important to me, it's the writers. Because the writers are the ones that are going to grow these characters as we go on through time. Yeah, Rick and Morty Season 1 was probably the best one, but if Justin's not contributing at that level anymore, it's fine to get rid of him. That's just my thought. Also, the whole texting younger girls, I'm sorry, I'm never going to be okay with that, so I'm fine with him being gone. I think that's something that's very disgusting. Alright guys, so those are my thoughts on this episode. Like I said, I am not going to do this for every episode of Rick and Morty. That's just not the way I'm going to do things, and it's very subjective of who likes things and whatnot for comedy. That's really hard. I do it for Star Trek Lower Decks, but I really enjoy Star Trek Lower Decks, and I don't feel enough people talk about it. Rick and Morty, I feel like we have a bunch of people that talk about it, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, bye.